Hey, Ghidorah. It's King Ghidorah. Sorry, I heard you were calling us monsters to you. Yeah, I want you to sing for me. Nah, I'm good. I'm king because I want to kill Godzilla. Deal! Obscure Titans back, yet another episode of the Megatronic Legacy writing series. Previously I talked about Richard Nixon's role in the series. And no, this doesn't change him from being a crook.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Now that we are looming to the final third of the writing episodes, I will discuss the two kaiju who will get their roles in this series. It won't be as elaborate as previous episodes, so it'll be a quicker one to get through. While there will be sources provided for my ideas for Rodan and King Ghidorah, I'm only going to refer to their Showa counterparts as their base for all the continuities. Let's get started. Rodan makes his debut in Toho's monster-filled Slime Fest in his Totalitarian movie in 1956. Two Rodans, one male and another female, emerge from Mount Aso in Kyushu after being awakened by nuclear radiation and brought about havoc to the city. Tracking down the beast to their nest, JSDF triggers an eruption to eradicate the monsters. Both of them die together in it. It's pointed out in King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, a single Rodan rose from Mount Aso and fought Godzilla. After being convinced by Mothra to join forces to battle Ghidorah, he and Godzilla overpowered the space dragon. The creature is a pterosaur that can walk on two legs, prior to Monsterverse, a spiky chest and horns on his head. Throughout any continuity, Rodan is depicted as a mutual rival to Godzilla. It's no secret that Godzilla has attracted a good chunk of rivals to challenge him. The fact Rodan's among one of his most recurring foes is still a thing. Ghidorah is widely considered to be Godzilla's ultimate arch-enemy throughout the series. Arriving on Earth inside an asteroid, Ghidorah prepared to destroy it just as he did to Venus prior, though it's Mars in the American version of the film. Driven off by the combined might of Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra, Ghidorah was defeated. However, renamed as Astro Monster, the Xalians unleashed their next plan to invade Earth and even got control of the two former to join in their plot. They were eventually freed and defeated Ghidorah. Funny how Rodan ends up sipping for Ghidorah in King of the Monsters in 2019. King Ghidorah is a three-headed dragon drenched in gold, shoot electricity from his mouth, and can cause strong winds by just flying. With their official canonical bios out of the way, I'll go over their origins and Megatronic legacy. I'll briefly mention previous points made in my Genie lore episode where I talked about Alakram's creation of Mara Ghidorah. I'll also have the link to that episode for further context. So to start this off, Mara Ghidorah is a three-headed dragon who appears more snake-like and fish-like. He was created as the guardian of the genie realm by Alakram's design. But as time went on, the creator of the genies gave up his power and the genies finished his work to ensure his legacy was complete. Mara Ghidorah would utilize his electric beams to conduct areas around him. This version is the second to have the Disney Hydra's design aside from his appearance in Kill la Kill Remnants of Rockyo, being the first. He'd have two front legs in front of his wings. The three-headed serpent could also paralyze his victims into doing his bidding to gang on his opponents, Godzilla being his enemy. You might be asking, why is he named Mara Ghidorah? Because the color scheme of his heads are elements based off of the three Chambers of Destiny in the Indiana Jones ride. As Mara Ghidorah can utilize his trademark elements, he can use earthly riches, eternal youth, and visions of the future as illusions to trick his enemies. Though I don't see Godzilla buying into his Unicronic apocalypse nonsense. Amongst this process, another creature was created, Phoenix Rodan. Considering pterosaurs and dinosaurs in general are birds, it would make sense for Rodan to have traits based off of bird-like traits, feathers and a beak. Something we see in birds. Rodan, hence his Phoenix persona, would have fire and can cause volcanic waves by flapping his wings. With Godzilla's birth done by Ripto and Shantae, the genie realm were alarmed by his uprising and sent out Rodan by Queen's Apple to investigate. Mara Ghidorah is still under development, and even then, Godzilla's light energon fusion was too much for Rodan to handle, thus killing him. I did mention that Mara Ghidorah would make his potential appearance in the President Conqueror arc in the 1990s. It's likely he'll have his role during the Gulf War storyline when Conqueror plans to take down Osama bin Laden, Nasty Nork, and the remaining crew who still serve Basilica, Etna, Mekai, and Verbarak. But as Mara Ghidorah met his demise, Spyro and his crew noticed his three abilities: earthly riches, eternal youth, and visions of the future. all of which are empowered by Gold Energon, the lifeblood of the genies, and blood of Alakram. This gives Spyro and President Conqueror clues as to what could come next regarding the uprising of Unicron, Primus, and Megatronus convoy. As Alakram makes his exodus from the Primus Unicron warfare, he creates his own race which rivals the humans and Sangheili, the Jinn, one of the few capitalist regimes which lasted for years with little to no socialist agenda under its belt. During all of this, Alakram sets up the groundwork for Mara Ghidorah and Phoenix Rodan for his creation to finish giving life to, the latter being empowered when Jinn Spectre Godzilla arises, while the former gets completed in the Gulf War. Hence their statuses as guardians of the genie realm. They resemble an absolute amount of power that would have rivaled Godzilla had it not been the source of light energon, which makes it superior to gold energon. This episode wasn't as involved as the others, and that's because Ghidorah and Rodan's roles are pretty small compared to the rest of the roster, though the details would still be vital as it does lead to the Celestial Calamity arc following President Conquers. Next time we'll take a look at the Metrosphere's lore, another intriguing topic to cover in this project. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe and like, and I'll catch you next time. Over and out.